All right. C1x Updates, episode 7, I believe. It's been a little while. We're going to start this one by taking a look at the last video to see where I was at, just because it has been a while. So I can better talk about the progress that I made since then. I've been traveling for... When did I do the last video? Let's start with that. This is the last video I did 2 weeks ago. So for about a week of those past 2 weeks, I was traveling, still coding a bit while I was traveling, but I'm not filming videos like this when I'm traveling. Much easier for me to just do it at my desk. Let's maybe close these doors anyways. But yeah, traveling a bit, otherwise working sparingly. Still have made a decent bit of progress. Things do look different, which is why we're going to start with the video. But I've not done the best job of actually documenting my progress. I keep saying I'm going to try and do better. It is tough. Now that C1x is launched, I don't have a solid schedule. There's not, a need for me to sit down and work 3 hours at a time on it. I'm kind of just implementing baby steps, which is okay. But I guess enough with the excuses. I think I found a point in the video. I'll mute the video where I do pull up the simulator and we can at least see what the app looked like. Let's find out here. There we go. All right, so start round. This was our weather selector. Confirm. This was what the initial screen looked like. So we got the green progress bar up above. Next shot, which is a button. These buttons here. Some of this stuff hasn't changed. Has changed a little bit. We'll go through that. But had just the regular progress bar with the text at the top. Basket was showing T. That was an issue that I don't remember if I actually fixed it here or if we just left it as is. I wonder, what did the shot miss stuff look like? That's kind of what I'm wondering about right now. See if we can find another point here where I pull that stuff up. Maybe not. It might have just been mostly the landing areas, the normal C1x buttons. Yeah, not much there. Because there was some stuff that changed about the shot miss too, I think. Yeah, I just don't think I have it. Don't think I have it here. That's all right. It's not a big deal. So let's close this out. What I intend to do this video, it's going to be another brief one, so apologies for that, is we're just going to run through all the changes that I made. I'm not going to talk about the code a ton unless it's important. If there is, because these aren't live streams and video, they're published videos after the fact. If anyone happens to watch this and there is a feature that you would like for me to dive into the code on that was something I built out in the last episode or between the last episode and now, I'm more than happy to film a video and talk about it. I just, right now I'm documenting this for my own purposes and typically averaging somewhere right around that 0 view mark. So we'll prioritize, getting the description out of what things I changed, jumping into new stuff, and if I need to go back after the fact and provide an explanation, I would love to do that. I just want to do it for the things that you might actually want to learn about or know about or any or all of the above reasons. So to start with, let's open this guy up here. First off, weather selector. So I got rid of that kind of horrendous view. This is what we got right now. Not finalized, but a better start. And then the way this is set up is that once a round is selected and started, I'm going to add the weather at the very end of my detailed shot data. So our round structure has not changed. This is how all the rounds are going to get saved. This detailed shot data is basically the extent of all of the new features, new views, and stuff that I'm adding in right now. It's focused on just filling out this array with all kinds of information. And so weather is going to be a part of it. Now, this is where a lot of the stuff has changed. Obviously, this is where all of the other stuff has changed. So first off, we'll talk about the obvious. We've got rotating discs in the middle. The buttons are the same. These are also, I've gotten all this to a point. None of this is finished, right? This is just the progress I've made so far. I do intend, after I'm done explaining this stuff, to jump in, keep improving some of it. But this is where we're at right now. So in the video, we just had FH and BH labels on these. Same thing with the more buttons, which I'll open up in a second. But the more I looked at it, the more I felt like it just really needed to be more visual. So yeah, this is forehand and backhand spin, and the settings right now for the simulator, it's set as a left-handed thrower, so that's why the spins are this way. If you select right-handed, they'll go back to what they would be for a righty. But now we've got forehand, backhand. They still select the same, push them down. You'll notice that as I start to select things, this progress bar is going to change a bit, which was another important change for me. But yeah, so we got forehand, backhand. If we select distances, this still works largely the same. You'll notice that I have gotten rid of the whole background color. I kind of like this transparent look with a little bit of shadow behind it. Anyways, enough of a distinction to still make it obvious that it is its own little view, but just having the green background didn't look great. I am still kind of toying with the idea of changing the background of this whole screen. Just the color of it, this like orange, red to orangish gradient. I'm leaving it the same right now just because I don't want it to, for the people that are scoring rounds in C1x right now, just on the normal setting. I don't want this to look like some alien feature that's hard to learn. I want people to go into it, for it to be really intuitive, largely look the same. This is the first time I'm clicking on the forehand button with the purple disc, noticing that it's the exact same color, so this obviously isn't going to work. One thing I did implement with all of these views for the ones that have buttons is now if you tap them again, it does deselect it. That was important. Still lots of little functionalities like that need to be added. But so right now we got disc rotating. If I hit more, we've got these. These look a little goofy right now. Don't judge me too much. That's something that we're going to work on, I think, once I'm done explaining here. But that's what this view looks like. Release angle, still largely the same. It does change a little bit with disc selection. So like if I select overhand, then roller is forced on, I got an overflow there, which is interesting. What's overflowing, I wonder? The buttons are, I see. All right, we'll have to look at that for a sec. Anywho, so overhand is going to force that roller angle just because that is typically how you're throwing it. Probably more selections to come like that, but otherwise release angle largely looks the same. I think I increased some of the line thicknesses a little bit. Same thing with these buttons. You can select and deselect. They pop up here. The disc shrinks in size to make room for them. But yeah. Next, we got flight path. These are, the appearance of them is essentially the same. I did go through and refine what the flight paths actually were. So previously it was just kind of lines moving up the screen as if you were watching it from like a, eagle eye view, 10,000 feet view. Now it's more so from trying to go from the perspective of the thrower. So if we go, forehand, and let's get this off a roller angle, we'll go hyzer. We've got the hyzer release angle, spike hyzer, all of them trying to come back to the ground. So that's the goal here, is trying to look at these from the perspective of the thrower. I don't think they do the best job of conveying it, but I think it's better than what I had before. I have the disc angles are adjusted to try and match the flight path a little bit. The best example of that is the low skip. You throw the skip, once it hits the ground, it kind of pops up a little bit. But yeah, so that's our path if you select it. Then we get the flight path to show up here. This follows it as well. So as you select those fill in. Next up, we've got landing zones. This largely does work the same. Some important changes to it is how it looks in the progress bar up here. So if I hit fairway, we get fairway to pop up. Also added this back button, basically is a little undo just for this setting within the widget. So you just hit back, it pops right back up. This clears out. We can go circle 1, we can go rough, etc. So those are all options here. Grade, this is basically the same. Main change is just how it reflects on the progress bar up top. Oh. So this was a change. And then chop miss, this is also essentially the same. Big change was the progress bar up here. So now we've got arrows showing misses. This is not the most intuitive. That's something I would like to improve a little bit. But yeah, this is where we're at. Important thing here is that now instead of a button, I've got a little progress slider. So you swipe right. Not working right now because one thing that is required, regardless of whether you're in normal C1x or this detailed deep stats mode, is that you have to mark where the disc lands, right? Like this is how the app scores your rounds, how you get all of your basic putting stats, driving stats, etc. This view is mandatory. I need to do a good job of conveying that to users with how I designed this page. That's not something that's in there yet, but this is required. The second I hit something like fairway, it changes in the next shot down here, and then we can swipe all the way. So if we swipe, clears everything out, and now we're back. So that is that's where we're at right now. I have been a struggle for me is I more or less got this view to the point that it was working, like I was gathering the information I needed to, but just because it didn't look good, it was hard for me to really get excited about it. Just because a lot of my motivation, I enjoy coding, but I really get excited about the end product and the impact that I think it could have, not only for my own game, but for the games of casual disc golfers up to touring pros. I think this, especially once this feature is built out, the depth of information the disc golfers can get about their game from the app. It's not an app that's going to necessarily target your backhand form. It's not, going to do that yet. But in terms of taking whatever level your game is at right now and finding ways to score better, I think this app could help a lot of people make strides there. So I get excited about the end product, and even though the functionality is there, because I can picture users looking at it and thinking, yeah, I'm not going to use that. That kills a lot of my excitement for it. So the focus right now is trying to get this to the point where I look at it and I'm like, man, that looks like it's going to be fun to score around on. Like if I turn off deep stats here and we just start a normal round, I look at this screen and I'm like, this just kind of looks like fun to score around on. It looks super easy. I hit fairway. This is nice. It's colorful. It's generally visual. And I want to get the same feeling with this. This part of the view I don't think is too bad. I like the rotating disc. So where to start now? That's I think the bulk of the changes that I made so far. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Putting widget's not displaying. I did fix that. So in the last video, if you marked out putting, and then went next shot, you did not get the putting widgets on the next view. That was just something I never implemented. So that's in there now. But let's erase around here. So we did the putting widgets. The release angle. So there was these are minor details, but on release angle, previously you could drag on the disc So in the last video, if I dragged on the disk, the slider would move up and down. I don't know if I actually did that, but it was built to work that way. And that's not the intention, so now it's only on the slider, which the real issue with that was that if someone tried to, you can swipe between the pages. You can also tap up here to switch between pages. I think I had that in the last video. But if someone tried to swipe over here, then, the slider would move around with it, and that's not the goal. So we fixed that. Lots of fixes with these buttons and just getting them to work within the detailed stats view. Some, I think, somewhat clever fixes in there, but issues like, throw in says in, it doesn't go to T or anything like that. That was an issue that we had previously. So made which of you improvements? The weather selector we went over, new next shot. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So now we're on to new progress. Where to start? We can probably start with these. So first and foremost, I guess, is going to be, the overflow that I'm getting here. And this was something that I thought I kind of fixed previously, but clearly I did not. Where do I draw my buttons at? Right here. Okay. Is more pressed, build raised button. How did, it was this animated switcher that I did it. Animation. Again, because I had the issue with the buttons here. It's hard for me to tell if this is shrinking. They're shrinking a little bit. Hard edge. Shot type enabled. So they're set up the same way. Let's just start off strong with a ChatGPT. NV below. Getting overflow error, specifically when the two rows of two buttons each are being shown. This widget is contained within a carousel, and when this widget is being rotated off the main view, the entire container shrinks, but the content on those two rows of two buttons is not shrinking enough, exceeding bounds on the bottom. I don't know if it's just a heavier offset or what. Can't wrap them in and expand it, I don't think. Oh, not that. All right, I'm not opposed. We can try the grid view count. Let's do this. Comment here. Drop this code in, and then I just need to update the buttons. So we've got overhand, putting, fix the overflow issue, and then we'll jump into improving content design, I should say. Let's do a reset, but it doesn't seem like that fixed it at all. Some understanding of code. Grid view did not fix the issue at all. Why is that so big? Okay, that's not a fix. I don't love this solution, but I will try it. This I'll just copy and paste in. We can reset. Try it. Nope, I'm using layout builder. Doesn't help. Issue is not that the raised buttons themselves seeing bounds, but content within them is. Is that something I did within the build a raised button section? I did not think so. Correct. All right. Below is my raised button. Values of my hard coding. It's all based on height. That's not enough. I need it to be enough. The spacing I have really only works well. Top layer height, width. Press down multiplier. I want this to be bigger. Do I add a spacer at some point? I don't think I do, but I'm getting a ton of space. Like, what is the space here? I don't know. What am I passing? Height. More height. height. Remaining height. That's the height I'm passing into an erased button with code below. More height width values being passed. Shouldn't problem number 3 not actually be a problem? Or what am I missing? Do not look at more label or back label. Neither of these are the issue. It is the other buttons that are overflowing. Your build raise button does not overflow. Your rotating disk does. My rotating disk is not. It's the label that is overflowing. Where's that? Build rotating disk. All right. Container. Size box height. There's only an 8 in there. This size. Overhand shot type. Height is this size. Main axis size min. Box decoration disk. Then we're drawing the arrows. Are the arrows what's taking up so much space, or what? That I just don't understand. I can add a color here. Let's go. Not there. Oh, so it's literally just the disk color. That's all that's being taken up. Okay, so what if I wrap this in a container and then we do the same thing? That's my issue. Okay. Section 1 and give it a color. It's taking up substantially. I'll take 2. This might be an easy fix here. It needs to be a little bit beyond it, but not anything crazy. I'm not getting any size past to this. But if I do, if we go width is equal to disk size times 1.5, height is equal to maybe the same thing. I mean, my overflow issue is gone at that point. Maybe it's just that easy. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your little ChatGPT. Now, improvement. So I like the animation on this. I wanted to go for something similar here. I don't know if this one needs to move at all. We can start with overhand first. When I pass disk size, what am I passing? Disk size is equal to height of the button times 0.35, which looks good here, but if it's not a main button or a long button. So long button is just the text, right? That's how I'm getting that. Back label not equal to more label, else it's just text. So if it's not main, it's not more, that means it's one of these. If it's main button not his main button, and long button, height times 0.5. Yeah, so I'm trying to make those bigger, and I do think that's better. In terms of disk size, at least. So that might be a good starting point there. And then let's go to that size box I just created and shrink down the size of that a little bit. So build rotating disk, sized box. This is going to apply to all of them, which might cause me some issues. Might. This does need to be required bool is more button. We'll require it, so I have to pass it here. And then for the size box, we're going to go is more button. Disk size times 1.2. You can try that. And then when I call it up here, I should have those values already. Yeah, so we're going to go, where did I just add my little, I just did it right there. Is more button. Put this essentially, and if it's neither of those, then this will be true, and this will be false. And then I got to pass that down here where I was getting the error. Is more button. All right, let's do a reset. Yeah, so these are my more buttons. So we got rid of the overflow there. Not getting an overflow down, which is great. Obviously still doesn't look good, but it's getting better. The hard part is using those factors of disk size times 1.5 or times 1.2. I have to make sure that that scales down okay with a smaller phone size. That'll just be something to figure out after the fact. I'll get all this in and we'll test it and make sure it works, and then I'll jump into a smaller device and we'll make changes as needed. Blow out my candle there. All right. Arrows are way too far apart. I was thinking that should be down here. So we got curved. Let's start with overhand. This is my code to draw the arrows. So we got times this size divided by 2. Let's just go 5 here. That's still not close at all. Div by 3. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and I like the arrows for putting. I just wanted something to kind of indicate that it was just kind of getting tossed forward. Like the reason that this shot exists is, you know, you're playing a really heavy wooded course, you throw it into the rough, you just got to pitch out into the fairway. That is the shot. But now why is this one working so well? Center dx, dx, this size divided by 2 plus 15. So the offset is so much bigger. I guess it's, but it's based on the center. That makes sense actually, because the disc is so narrow. Like that's the offset from center, not from the outside of the disc. Okay. That took me a second, but we got there. So I think I'd like to move them down a little bit, both of them starting down. Plus and minus. So it's rotated. Minus disk size over 4 plus disk size over 4. So if it's rotated, so I'm going a quarter of the way in each direction instead. Like this might be, we'll make this easy to undo if I need it, but let's do that. Let's change this to a 2. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Clearly I'm mistaken here as to which way this is working. Alright, so that gets me back. Offset is here. I get a start, which is this, and we get an end. And then we draw the line. So this is 1 point. And this is 1 point. Okay, so I'm going the wrong way, essentially. So if it's rotated, it means it should be here. I'm just not sure if I'm going in the right direction. But I think what I'm getting at is that I can take that off. This becomes a 2. This becomes a 2. I take that off. Oh, one of them needs to be a minus, doesn't it? Is it this one? Nope, it's the other one. So this is what I had in mind. And I could make them just smaller than at this point. I don't hate that. That's what I was going for. No arrows on it. Trying to indicate like not speed, but just kind of a toss out. It's not bad. Other. I don't hate leaving it as other for now. So let's just, I don't want to animate it. Let's go up here. Not there. I go too far. Where's it at? Toss this. Case. Not put, other. Maybe it's just this. If I do this, do I get the right thing? There we go. No movement. Yeah, it's fine. All right. We're going to make it smaller. We're going to decrease this by a lot. Even less. Text painter layout. Oh, and it's already offsetting it anyways. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Made the discs bigger. They look nicer. I still don't love the 2 question marks, but that's okay. Release angle I'm going to leave as is for now. I actually might need to stop this video a little early. But good progress made so far. Really at this point I'm just trying to work my way through these last 3 guys. Make them look a little bit more exciting and encourage people to actually use them. And then we're just going to jump straight into actually taking the data that I'm collecting, which is fully working in this, and doing something with it. So I'm going to call the video there for today. But as always, thanks for watching. If there's anything you want to see explained in a video, any features you want to see, I'd love to hear from you. So drop a comment down below. But yeah, otherwise, that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.